But there was a story of this man that was a loner. He was a loner as a child. He was a loner as he went through high school, and he was always just hanging out by himself. Well, he got out of high school and he moved into this house by himself. And this book was written by a man who found his journal after this man died. And so he wrote this entire book based on this kid's journal. And so in this journal, he was writing about how he didn't connect with people because they didn't make him feel happy to be seen. So in other words, when he walked into the school every day, nobody was really just bright and bushy-tailed about seeing this guy. And so he fell in love with goldfish and other types of fish because when you put the fish in the water, if anybody's ever had fish, they really have a personality after a while. You walk into the room and they come and they just happy. They're at the front of the tank and they're waiting for you to drop some of that little food across the top. But fish really have a personality. And this man really connected with these fish because they loved him and they showed him that, I'm excited to see you every time you walked in. Well, what we know that man as today would be autistic on the spectrum. He was different. And I have a son who is autistic, so that's probably why the story keeps hitting me so hard. And this man was writing this story because in his journal, this man found this one place where he talked about those fish and how much joy they brought him, how much purpose in life they brought him because they were so happy to see him. And he wrote about the one day he decided, I want to do something better for these fish. So he took the old little light bulb looking heater that warms the water. He took that thing out and he went and bought this really high end water heater or whatever. And he put this new one on, he plugged it up, and the fish were happy. And he turned off the lights and he went to his bedroom. Well, the thing overheated. It tore up, it malfunctioned with all the technology, and it overheated, and it pretty much cooked all of those fish. He comes out of his room the next morning to see all of those fish floating at the top of that tank. And when he saw all those fish floating at the top of the tank, he sat down and he said he stared at those fish for a while. And in his journal, he wrote a statement that just resonated with me. He wrote, I wonder if they were screaming and I could not hear them. He said, I wonder if they were calling my name, but I couldn't perceive that because I don't speak fish. And sometimes when I think about organizations like this and when I think about these kids, there is a silent cry that maybe we can't hear like those fish. We may not hear a kid yelling and saying, hey, I need help. But at the same time, that's what the kid is crying out.